Hi, it's Hazel. Welcome to my channel, Hazel and Aka Design. I'm so glad that you're here. I know that if you're at all like me, you love vicariously living through other people's haul videos. And mentally, consciously or unconsciously, comparing what that person has scored to what is available in your own area. And either thinking, oh, that's kind of crappy, or thinking, oh, I wish I had access to something like that. Well, this video, again, I'm using the typical hashtags that I use each time. Thrifty Canucks, hosted by Kim Newberg. Thrifted Treasures, hosted by Dale at Not Too Shabby Chic. And Thrifty Thursday, hosted by Sheree at Turquoise Dreaming. Now, this is this format or this approach this time is a little bit different in that I've just thrown into this box some stuff that I've acquired recently, either through thrifting or auction purchases. So I'm going to, because this is like, if you've gone thrifting, if you've had a good day, you'll end up with several bags or boxes. And it's a bit of a hodgepodge when you get home and you're rediscovering the treasures that you bought, particularly if you bought something that was an auction lot that you had never seen, or a grab bag where you can't really see all the contents. So it's like, excuse me, it's like Christmas morning and, a birthday party, treasure hunt, all rolled into one. So let us begin. I've put everything into this one box and I will just move it out of the way as I talk about it. So this was obviously in a bag, and it is a really wide, fringy type trim, nearly 6 inches. So I think there are people who might be interested in acquiring a chunk of this. I should also say that I have become more, I don't know if it was the light finally came on and I've acknowledged that I'm not going to be able to use everything that I have or everything that I've been buying. So the only way to keep some of my sanity, just a bit of my sanity, is to make some of these items available to others who don't have access to this kind of stuff. And frankly, if I have scored, I pass those savings along to you, because I know, number one, how important it is that people, that all of us get as much for our money as we possibly can. And frankly, it's just another way to give back to the community, and especially for those people who are just beginning the journey and look around and think, okay, that's great, I want to do this, but I don't have anything to do it with. So I think it's really important that a person, number one, go slowly, but also shop smart and shop wisely. And try to, if you're buying used goods, you should, unless it's, valuable because of its age and scarcity, you should be paying less than retail, of course. So that's what I'm hoping to offer you. Either, if you contact me directly, great. I'd entertain those kind of emails. But also because I have listings on three different platforms. First was my Etsy shop, and there are things there that aren't listed anywhere else. Second, I got a coffee shop, and there are things that are listed there, including some digital freebies that don't exist anywhere else. And then thirdly, the Maker's Market. And there are some things there that aren't listed anywhere else. So, in a perfect world, I would have all the listings everywhere. But honestly, there aren't enough hours in the day. So I think, if you're interested in seeing what I have, I guess you need to go to 3 different places. And, hopefully that evolves over time. In addition to that, I'm also a guest seller every once in a while on Angela, the Traveling Crafter's live Thursday's sales. So that is a heck of a long preamble. But essentially, I'm saying that some of the things that you see here or in other haul videos will likely end up as a listing somewhere. And the more clues you give me as to what you might be interested in, the more likely those things will happen first. Anyway, enough about that. Here's some Dusty Rose flat lace, and it is lovely. It's got the little, I don't really want to undo it, but you can see it's got the little holes along the edge where a person could run a ribbon or a fiber or a cord of some kind through there. And frankly, this works just fine. I'll add it to my blush journal extravaganza. And honestly, for those of you who've been watching me for a while, I have not forgotten. I've just gotten busier with other things. So it is time to get on the ball here and reassess the journals, see what is ready to list, and get on with finishing the others. Because frankly, I want to reclaim that space and I want to get on with something new and different already. So that goes to that side. This is just some really wide lace I was able to get on, okay, let's see if maybe if I do it this way, we'll see exactly. This is probably 5 inches. Yeah, I'd say 5 inches. And the beauty about something like this is that it's kind of woven tightly enough that you probably wouldn't have to line the inside of this if you wanted to use this as a journal pocket or, well, I guess it's a bit wide for a belly band, but you could always cut it right there and end up with using just that part. So this is obviously something that is a good basic to have in your crafting toolbox. You may remember that I showed you an idea that I copied and or adapted from Kim Newberg. She sent me some fibers wrapped around these, well, they're either jumbo craft sticks or they're tongue depressors, one or the other. Say ah. So there were obviously some spools in here. I've wrapped these onto these sorts of things. They take a heck of a lot less room. If I want to throw the burgundy one into a project box, I do that and it doesn't take up so much space. You know, likewise with the blue or any other color for that matter. This was in here. Cute little jar. Needs to go through the dishwasher, I would say, though. These are heart confetti, both the negative space and the little solid hearts that came out of the middle. So I have to deal with that in some way. I do have other ways that I'm storing sequins. This was something that I thought, oh, flashcards, baby flashcard. Oh, Montessori. Unfortunately, it wasn't until I got them, I got my hands on them, that I realized that they are almost more like, I think you're supposed to be able to, okay, so it's almost like a puzzle and a word, and of course this is also French. So I'm thinking that something like this, and they're thick. You can see they're thick because of that dimensional puzzle piece in there. So cat, moon, sun, and so on and so on. Tractor. Some of these would I think the best use for something like this would be as a journal topper on obviously a whimsical kind of journal. So I'm okay with this purchase. This isn't what I thought I was bidding on, to be honest. And that is the downside of auction purchasing, frankly. Okay, let's keep going. If you saw a recent video, you know that I used craft foam through my Sizzix machine and was pretty happy with the results. And in that video I said, oh, I wish I had more colors. So, you know, again, the universe answered. So here's a pack of 4x6s. I don't know if $2 was a good price or not. 32 pieces with some brighter colors that I could use with my dies once I replace my cutting. I think they're called plates, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody, Celeste, pointed that out in the comments on that video, and now I'm scared to use it because she said that they definitely need replacing and I could wreck my machine. I like these kinds of things. I've had them before in clear because I use them. I've put images behind them, so I thought for 75 cents that wasn't too bad. These, and I'll throw these in with my other eyelets. These are some fun ones. I don't know if you can tell. Okay, well, let me show you. The package is just colorful ones. The ones that are, I can't open that in front of you. Okay, those are round and normal. These loose ones are heart-shaped. And I'm thinking, you know, maybe on a kid's journal or an eclectic journal, that might be just what the doctor ordered. These are called wedding stickers, looking glass stickers, self-adhesive, and they've got, you know, kind of generic. Now, there's really nothing here that makes them exclusively wedding. I realize there's probably glare. Bliss, kiss, forever, cherish, those words could work equally as well somewhere. I don't know why that is showing that, but anyway. I bought 3 packages of these. Now these are just, okay, it says stone stickers. They almost look like candies to me. Always like, happy, play, kind. So again, might be cute in a generic type journal. The other 2 packages that are not here are baby girl and baby boy that have now been put with the baby stuff. This was obviously a Dollarama purchase. These are mini mirrors, so I hope I'm not blinding you. So I think this would be a great addition to a boho journal or anywhere, maybe Christmas or wherever you might want to add some sparkle and shine. This is Jewel Borders, and this packaging, I'm pretty sure, is a Dollar Tree variety. You can see that they've used them around a box or around, like on a picture mat. So again, same scenario. They would be cute in a project that needs some pizzazz. This, I don't even know where this came from, but it says 50 self-adhesive pearls, and they're all the same size. Cute little paper card that they're on that could obviously be reused as a tag. So there's that. Oh, we'll get these craft sticks out of here. That ribbon was around them. Here is a package of Velcro that has not been opened. I don't use, now this is just regular Velcro. It's 3/4 inch. I don't use Velcro probably as often as I should. So I probably need to, you know, when you have a room with hundreds of items in it or thousands of items in it, I don't know what the trick is for creating awareness that, oh, you've got Velcro. You should use some Velcro. I mean, I have stuff like paper reminders pasted around me. I have project boxes or places where I keep ideas for videos. But I honestly, I don't know. Well, it's my problem, not yours, I guess. But okay, this obviously was not 2 for 25 cents. I paid $1.99 for it. How to succeed in sewing with very little trying. Make the most of your sewing machine by knowing how to use it best. This is really an oversized thing. It is 11 by 7 5/8. And it was, I guess, issued by the McCall Pattern Company. But look at how, now did I ever find a date? Oh, 1962. Look at how cool these images are. And of course, they're also promoting other things that they'd like to sell you. But, you know, a lot of things that could be fussy cut, some interesting, cool pages or images for a sewing journal. Oh, I was in a recent video, I was talking about the sewing machine, the old sewing machine that I bought. That's the kind of thing people had to use back in the day, an attachment that hooked onto their foot, or whatever, what is that thing called that comes down? Anyway, the thing that you attach your foot to, you know, was a whole other machine. And of course, there were little discs or something that dictated how big the buttonhole would be. Because, of course, you know, buttonholes are not all created equal. So, anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. That'll go with my sewing stuff. Now, Liquidation World used to be a place that I loved years and years ago. They've been closed for many years. I probably bought this wrapping paper then, and I love it because it's like sewing pattern images. And if I see it, I always buy it. And it's been reduced $1.50, $99, $49, and I don't know what I paid for it. Another, you know, again, I've said this before, I'll say it again. Got those couple of commissions on to do baby books, and all of a sudden there are babies everywhere I look. Oh, somebody had, this book originally cost $18.50. But look at these watercolor images. Okay, so do we know what year? 1990. These images of these watercolor babies. So am I turning those into journaling cards? You can bet your bottom dollar. That could be a belly band or a side tuck, like just page after page. And there's some, obviously some foxing on these patterns. This is 1988. I don't know what that's for, but look at, again, more babies. And of course, you know, sometimes you have the hard choices. Which one do you cut out? Which one do you sacrifice? Or can you fold it in such a way that you get to use both? Because, you know, we're from the school of we like to have our cake and eat it too. So if we can figure out how to cut something or fold something or hinge something or something, we'll do it just a little cutie pie, to save the day. So I love that. Okay, this is, I would say, 1/4-inch masking tape. It looks as old as the hills. It does seem to have some stick. So that's a good thing. I'll add this to where I keep my tapes. Baby food jars from 07. Maybe that's not a year. I don't know. You'd think that food would have had expiry date. But these, of course, would be great for beads. They're far too small for any of my buttons. But anything small like that. So, you know, sequins or glitter or anything that you want to be able to see what's in there and there isn't a huge quantity. Some glitter thingamajigs. I haven't used glitter in forever, but gotta love copper. And this is a shaker. So I will add that to my glitter. I grouped all these together. They were all loose, but clearly this would go with Christmas stuff. Oh, here's more glitter. Flower stamens. like this, I think would be really good. I'll keep this with my flower stuff, but I think it would be really good for, you know, when you're doing maybe even a shabby chic kind of thing, and you want the look of, you know, pearls, maybe in conjunction with some flowers of some sort. And of course, this is a little tiny wire, so if you fold it in half, or those could even be butterfly antennae. So yeah, one of those really old crafts that still can be put to use by journal makers. Oh, Umbra makes a lot of interesting stuff, and I suspect, I didn't bother looking at the paperwork, but I suspect that this was one of their dimensional wall decoration things. So there are these pewter looking, and they're plastic, so they're lightweight, plastic dragonflies in, I think, at least probably maybe 3 sizes. So here's a little baby one, and here is the honking big one. So I was pretty happy about that, because who doesn't love dragonflies? I haven't seen any here lately, but I think August is typically when they show up. Again, more little containers. These are, whoops. They're not thread, well, yeah, I guess they do have a little bit of thread on them, but they're almost like a stopper bottle. So again, I'll put in a pill bottle. This almost looks like it came from vanilla or something, but it doesn't smell, so I don't know. Oh, here are more ribbons that I wrapped. More of these. Oh, look at these cool clothespins. And again, you know, there'd only be enough room. Well, I guess I could take the spring out and just use each half by itself, just as an interesting wood piece. But there were, I think there were 4 of them. Yeah, just these cute floral, oh, they're all the same. Cute floral, or they're not all the same. 2 are the same. They are all the same. Like these could be on the top of a journal cover, or like this. So of course a clothespin is a homemaking type activity, putting things on a clothesline like pioneer women used to, or the floral thing. So again, you don't necessarily have to use things as you find them. If this is too darn thick, take the spring out, use, you know, then you end up with half the thickness. So there's that, a sponge brush. This is a tiny little, it says Great Tech, so I don't know what that is. If this is, well, it's like a tiny little spoon and kind of a pokey thing at this end. So I'm thinking this could be for beads or glitter, or to stir wax in your wax melt machine, or whatever. This is 1 millimeter in diameter, and it is stretchy cord, like for making, you know, bracelets. This is a scary looking watercolor paint palette. Not that the fact that this is all cracked means anything, but there's very little paint in there too. Obviously hydrated with water, and you've activated it again. Whether or not there's any color saturation in there, I guess is nothing. A tack cloth is something that you would typically find in the hardware store, and that is to use to pick up sanding residue between coats of, like if you're refinishing something, or you've just sanded something, you're about to stain it, or you've stained it and you're about to varnish it. That is what that is used for. And I'm sure it could be used around the craft room as well. Now these are, it says window writers, 10 washable markers, broad tip. I haven't even tried one to see if they still work or not. Yep. Put the cover on till it snaps. So it looks like one is perhaps missing. Three, 6, 9. Yeah, there's one is missing. Okay, window decorating. Use these window writers to decorate foil wrapping paper. So, I don't know. One of those grab bag type things. Some pieces of jute. Now, these are a different brand. So, this is Marvy brand Deco Color Acrylic Paint. So, looks like they still have some juice in them. So, there's this green, brown, and yellow. Obviously some round beads, and somebody has begun, oh, there's a beading needle in there. Somebody's begun making a necklace of some sort. So let's see, is this salvageable as part of a dangle? It's going to be a multi-strand, that's for sure. Oh, they've tied a knot. Cool, that's almost like a bolo type tie, you know, with the dangly bits. So that's cool. Would I use it as it is? If I had some smarts, I probably would, rather than redoing. But you know what? If you know me at all, I'm inclined to sort these by color. I don't know. Not probably a very good use of my time. Okay, let's look in this. Now, this is weird. It's like the kind of bag that you find at a hardware store. I guess they're little wood pieces, but most of them are fairly thick. So again, you'd have to use them very selectively. So there's a little tree. I don't know, is that a cream can? I think that's supposed to be a milk bottle. Look at this little bowl or saucer or whatever, plate. I thought I saw a rolling pin. I haven't dumped these out and looked at them, but just through the, yeah, look at this cute little rolling pin. So would that not be cute in a cooking journal? So I might have to go through these, package them up. Oh, look at a little spool. Oh my goodness. Some of these would be so cute on dangles. Here's another little plate. Anyway, so what I might end up doing with these, because clearly I don't need all this, is bundling them and listing them for sale. Probably by type. Well, there's like a school bell. Anyway, okay, so I honestly, I haven't looked through that till just now. These are some silver beads. Here is a flower, and I've found a few of these lately, so more twine that jumped out of its package. Oh, look at these cute little apples. I remember, no, they don't smell. I ended up years and years ago, somehow people were infusing a scent into wood pieces, and I remember buying a little wooden apple, because I like apples and red and so on. It was bigger than this, like it was maybe double the size. And it also served as a sort of a little air freshener thing. Not sure what these little hooks are for, but I'm sure I can use them in some way. So I don't know if that goes with my jewelry stuff or what. Oh, I've got the flower. Showed you the flower here. So just some regular craft sticks. There's the jute. We've seen that already. This I just salvaged. Oh yeah, the clothespins were on here. So I saved this because it's kind of cute. Some obviously beading needles, which I should put with my jewelry stuff. Another Wyeth. I don't know. Yeah, that's probably baby food as well. It's got measuring stuff on the side. And these are just a bunch of white buttons. I need to refresh myself as to which are the most valuable white buttons. Like, I know there are pearl buttons and there are, what are those other ones called? Years ago, I remember watching a video where somebody was really going through her white button collection and explaining the difference. I love clock faces. So this will go with my clock parts. 2 faces, that's cool. And I wrote to her and I said, oh, or maybe she just said that in passing. I said, why don't you do a whole video on that and just explain for us, the uninitiated, you know, how we can really tell some of these things apart. And she said, oh, I'm really not an expert, but I don't know if I believe her. Near as I can tell, I don't think she's ever done it. Now, you know I love copper, so I thought these were so interesting. They look like those shell buttons, you know, sort of the pearlized shell. So I don't know if somebody went to the trouble of wrapping the copper tape around them or what, but clearly I think those are pretty cool. Probably add some of those to my copper journal. And again, where there is too much surplus, I've now come to the conclusion that I don't need to hang on to every little thing myself. I can package it and make it available to you. One of the things I was able to see in the pictures before I bid was this particular Fisker's paper edger. This is the stamp version. I don't know why my bank receipt here is getting all, oh, but that's white. You won't see that. This has been, let me not cut off something important. This is double thicknesses because I just didn't want to. But look, is that not going to be perfect if I want to create some faux stamps? And then this one is called Lightning. Maybe I should do this over here. Again, if you want the pattern to read correctly, you just have to reposition it. So I thought those were cool. I will keep them handy, or at least for sure the stamp one. The other one may go and keep its cousins and brothers and sisters happy. These, typically I don't use tiny little scissors because it's such a short little stroke that it makes. But they seem very sharp. It says Judikins, Judikins, CTS 11. Now with my arthritic fingers, sometimes it's hard to even get a finger into the I don't know, what are they, finger holes? But I might just throw these in my travel stainless steel china. I might just throw this in with my crafting stuff because sometimes you need this kind of precision for fussy cutting. Okay, so there's that. And here, whoops, was, now this is twice now that I've seen these sort of little paper, oh, there's something on there, little paper bobbins. Let me see if I can read that for you. Bell, Dix, Corticelli, style, something, and the copyright symbol. So maybe at some point there were paper, if you know the answer to that, tell me. I mean, I don't know if I would have the guts to try it in any of my sewing machines, but who knows? Maybe paper works as well as And here are, now again, you probably cannot really see that. It is like, well, it's got a hole, an eyelet at the top. It feels braided. It's very fine. It's long, so that's a good 4+ inches long. I don't know what that's for. If you know the answer, clue me in. I hate to be the last kid to know anything. So for now, I'll just put these back in here. Maybe it would also be good to put those beading wires in here when I find them. So there's that. And then this spool. Now, I am inclined to think there's no markings on it or anything. Maybe let me give it the sniff test. I suspect, well, I don't know. It doesn't smell. Oh, maybe it does. Have you snorted any wire lately? I think this might be leather. And I cannot tell. You know what? Let me get a sharp. Because inquiring minds want to know. And let's not cut my little thing here. I just want to make a little slit and see if this is like a leather wrapping on something. Well, let's cut a piece off, and then we can slice this down the, well, maybe we could slice a finger. How about that? Okay, I'm going to try to just do this. Whoops, went off the edge. See what I can see by cracking this open. So I would say that's a leather wrapped. I think it's solid leather because this doesn't seem to want to peel off, and that looks like the backside of leather. And if I would move my fingers out of the way, maybe you could see. Tell me your theory on that. Anyway, whether it's leather or not, it could obviously be used as a journal closure and any other time that a person feels like or needs a fiber of some sort. So, I mean, this could be used as a journal journaling card, tag, topper kind of thing, just as easily as eyelash trim or ribbon. So there's that. Oh, how long have we been at this? I should probably stop. I'll show you one last thing because I've forgotten it in the last 2 videos, and then the books I'll leave for another time. I have wanted one of these for a long time. So it's a stamp. So that it makes an embossed thing, and I'll show you soon. It says, this is from British Columbia, BC Stamp Work, Vancouver, BC. And of course, when I bid on it, I had no idea if it worked, and I had no idea what the company name was. Now, I probably will not try to, I did wipe the dust off it, but I will probably not try to do anything to the finish because frankly, that patina sort of adds to it all. Like you would think that a little, sanding would get rid of some of that rust, and maybe I could read that a little better. Should I, like I say something and then I just quickly go against my own better judgment sometimes. What happens if I take a little emery board to it? it's definitely polishing it off, and it is, you know, there's some very minute stuff that's coming off there. There are probably people in the audience who are thinking, stop, why are you doing that? Anyway, I don't know if I probably won't pursue that any further because goodness knows I have other things to do. However, let me show you. This is, well, some packaging. It's probably not going to be quite big enough. So you essentially, businesses would have it, lawyers' offices, I think banks and so on back in the day. Let's pretend that this is what, I don't know, maybe I should do it this way and then it would read, well, whatever. So you just squeeze and you get that beautiful thing. Obviously, I didn't have it very centered. So what it says is Eagle Hotel Company. Oh, you know, I never realized there was a date on there before. Let me do this again. Here's a scrap piece of paper. And I should pay attention to. Okay, so I put this paper in this way, which means, well, I guess it's a circular design, so there really isn't a top or bottom. 1939. Incorporated 1939. So if I, here's my pencil. Let's pretend that we're 10 again. I mean, this would probably work better if it wasn't a mechanical pencil, or if the paper was, oh, see, that paper is almost too thin. So this would have definitely worked better on cardstock. But, okay, let's just, sorry, I didn't mean this to turn this into a tutorial. Let's double it up so we have a little thicker paper. And again, it doesn't matter how we put it in because it's, okay, I guess it would matter. So for instance, if this was a journal card, I probably wouldn't have wanted this upside down. So to remember that this end is the top side. Okay, so we're going to squeeze. Doesn't take much. Maybe I could have squeezed a little harder. And let's see what happens. Oops, I've got stuff collapsing here. So it's really like any other embossing. Yeah, this is not quite as good as, I think I maybe didn't squeeze enough. And on this one, the D cut through. So yeah, cardstock is probably more the ideal weight. But isn't that, I'm so glad I got that. And, you know, I had to pay a bit of money. I did see them once, a bunch of these once in a thrift store. They were quite a bit more money than I paid for it. And I think I didn't like the look of the names. I mean, if it would have been something that I really loved, I would have paid the price. Because sometimes you just have to do that when you really love something. This I took a chance on. It turns out fine because, hey, 1939, and because it's a hotel company, so that's good. Anyway, and this could also be a squeezer downer thing, like my satire. I do have some other vintage office tools like a stapler. Just can't quite see it at the moment. Anyway, yeah, I was pretty happy with that, and I'm glad I finally remembered to show you. Anyway, guys, that is where we will stop today. I do have some books to show, but they will keep for another day. Or let me see, maybe I'll just tempt you with one other thing. I had this at the bottom of the pile because I was going to end another haul video with this, but since we're all maybe drooling over that seal, let's drool a mite more with this. I paid a bit of money for this, but you can tell by the cover. If you would have seen this in your travels, you too would have picked it up, opened it up, looked at it. So it says duplicate receipts, but look inside. Do it sideways so you see more of the page. So they are duplicate receipts. So this is the front, this is the top, this is the duplicate. Now at the back of the book, there are some oversized sheets of carbon paper to fill. I don't know how many there are. Is it just one? And the tissue that goes with it. So looks like there's just one, which is kind of odd. Anyway, we'll go there in a minute. But so there is this symbol. It says the R.J. Lovell Company Limited, Toronto. So you can see manufactured by R.J. Lovell, wholesale stationers, manufacturers of account books, office supplies, loose leaf ledgers, and accounting systems, printing, bookbinding, embossing, lithographing, office furniture, filing cabinets, blah, 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 Toronto. And on the cover, I thought it said, oh no, it says all the same thing. I thought there were other locations. Anyway, so you can see that that is, there's a coat of arms there. There's this woman, and she's holding the Union Jack. So again, that is that was before the 60s when Canada got its own flag, which is of course the red maple leaf with the two red bars on a white ground. So this obviously predates that time when we got our own flag. Now it does say 19 here, so we know it's not older than, it's not the late 1890s or anything. But there is lots here. So I think I'm going to take this book apart because I think the covers would definitely make a cool journal. You can see there's some tearing and some wear. Probably do that right this minute. Anyway, my intention is to get this open to the point where I can access the staples, or at least, so obviously in any receipt book, the top copy, see all those staples? The top copy is intended to, it's perforated, and you tear it out and you give it to the customer that you just gave you money. However, when I shared a page of originals and the copies with that Edmonton group I've been talking about, I was just ripping this out in the parking lot to do it, and ripping is not a good option because it can cause damage. So what I would like to do, or the other thing I could do, I've done this once before with something, stick a steel ruler in there and just use my knife to cut along there. And that way I should have a relatively straight edge. I will not be cutting, I'd need a longer ruler. I would not be damaging anything beneath, and I also wouldn't be tearing anything. But the foxing throughout is just lovely. And of course, the fact that the duplicate is just as beautiful, and maybe even more so, some would say, because it's more a caramel color, has the same ornate border and woman as the original. Usually people didn't put that kind of care into the duplicate copy. Oh, I said we would look at the back. So here, again, a perforation. So this is like wax paper. It feels kind of, well, dirty and waxy. This is like a tissue paper. Oh, somebody stuck this in here with an old 3-cent stamp. So that's old also. Oh, 1949. That stamp was used. So some carbon paper. One sheet of carbon paper. Another protective page. So this, of course, would be, you could treat it like a napkin, layer of napkin or tissue paper, whatever. That could be collaged down on something. And here's another piece of that wax paper. I have a Kleenex here. I should just see if any of this, yeah, they could just be grit from being so old. Have you wiped your papers lately? Oh yeah, you can see that, well, maybe you can't, but I can see that there is almost a color change as I remove the dirt. Yeah, now it doesn't feel gross to the touch. So that is, and that could maybe be erased if it came down to it. See, the other thing is, because this is so big, so it's, well, it's not quite 13 inches by, where does this end here? By almost 9. These boards, especially this back one, could be, once I separate it, it could be cut in half this way and become 2 journal covers, and then you just have to fudge a spine in some way. Let's turn to a cleaner part of this Kleenex. So yeah, I was pretty tickled pink by this, and I know that, well, I think most of the ladies, you know, again, depending what kind of projects people work on, I think most of the ladies that I gave those 2 sheets to were appreciative of the age and the grunginess of it all. Should probably do this side too. So again, you know, sometimes sometimes beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Oh yeah, that's bad. But feels so much better now that I've done it. And I should do the back side of this one as well. And then let you go. Because how could I possibly top these last 2 items? I probably couldn't. So again, I hope that wherever and however and you are thrifting, whether it's, you know, eBay, thrift stores, auctions, live sales, you know, skulking around in relatives' basements. I hope that you have good luck scoring some wonderful items as well. And I just invite you to keep on watching videos with any of these thrifting channels. There are a number of channels involved. Sometimes there are playlists, and certainly you can just put in the hashtag and that will bring up a number of videos. I know I have a thrifting playlist on my channel, so that's another way to look back at some of the things I've scored over the years. Thank you so much for being here, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.